What is up? We are live here on the TikTok, live on the YouTube. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to everyone, and to all a happy almost New Year. Guys, man, here on TikTok, by the way, a temporary name change. I was just playing around with something and then realized, oh, TikTok doesn't let you change your name and only once every 30 days. So, change my name on TikTok temporarily. Don't worry, it's going back to Dadalorian in January. So if any of you guys know how to hack that to get my name back before then, that would be great. Let me know. Anyway, other than that, man, let's I'm live on YouTube as well, so you guys are more than welcome to pop into the chat if you guys want to talk face to face, do a little bit of Q&A stuff. For today, it's really just more of a lo-fi kind of, us talking, me talking to you, you talking to me. We're talking about Spider-Man and his amazing friends. No, but really, we are talking about the aftermath kind of Spider-Man and a lot of the things that have been projected in terms of like things we can speculate that could be happening with the character in the cinematic universe. In Marvel's side of things, also in the Sonyverse side of things, which I'm really, really excited to talk about. So everyone here, if you have not seen Spider-Man No Way Home, please be warned, I'm going to talk about major spoilers. I've already done my spoiler review of the movie. Me and my buddy Xanatos 1138, shout out to him. We did a live stream a few days ago, just kind of going over that. And Aiden Sims, what's up, man? Thanks for popping into the chat. I appreciate you. And everyone here on TikTok, what's up? What's up? Will you play Apex White? What? No. I don't even play Apex, man. I've heard of it, but I do not play. So again, Spider-Man No Way Home, big. You've said I've seen it so many times. My God, man. I've only seen it once, but I'm trying to convince my entire family to go back again and watch it with us. So, yeah, man, trust me, we'll be going to see it again here soon. So, yeah, again, big spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home in this stream, both here, TikTok, YouTube. If you've seen it, great. If you haven't seen it, beware. I'm letting you know now. So throughout this stream, I'll probably say that again just a couple times for people, trickling in and trickling out. So before we get into the discussion again, this is something I want to let you guys know. Again, I am partnered with Save Neo. You can find the link in my link tree on TikTok, actually, where you guys can go and purchase yourself a lightsaber. I've done a few videos that are up on the channel, so if you want to check those out, see what those look like, and kind of get the nitty-gritty details on those, be sure to go and check out those videos on my YouTube channel. And the link is in my link tree on TikTok for you to purchase one. Now, I'm going to hook you guys up. Use my coupon code, Dadalorian, all caps. Use that code at checkout. So make sure, just remember, use that coupon code. It helps you out. It helps me out. It's super cool, and you can get yourself a lightsaber in your hands. Or if you're trying to get somebody else for the holiday season that's a Star Wars fan, be sure to go and check that out. Again, the link tree is in my TikTok page. So be sure to go and check that out. Other than that, for all who aren't subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please be sure to do so. I'm live over there now, TikTok, and I'm live on TikTok right now, YouTube people. So be sure to follow me everywhere. Follow me everywhere. Okay, so enough of all of that. Let's get straight into today's discussion, man. Again, like I said, it's major spoiler points for Spider-Man No Way Home. So if you haven't seen it, just know I'm going to be talking spoilers heavily in this stream today. And, it depends on, we may only go for like 30 minutes. We don't have to go for a full hour. It depends how many of you guys are coming in and conversing. If you guys have questions and theories, be sure to let me know. Can we get to 1K likes? Yo, let's go. 1K likes, 1 million followers on TikTok. I'm all about it. Let's do it. So I'll start off by saying this. Number one, the movie was unreal. It was unreal, right? Like, if you haven't seen it yet, and I'm assuming everyone that's here, you guys have all seen it. So you guys know, like, it was unreal. And because of that, even one of the things that I'm really thinking about is one of the statements that Amy Pascal said in one of her interviews, where she was like, at this rate, we can do whatever we want. They can literally do whatever they want with the whole concept of the multiverse. Knowing that that's an established thing, they can literally do whatever they want. So it got me thinking. All right, hang with me here. It really got me thinking. Because okay, I'm going to start with the Morbius trailer before I get into my main point. So we've all seen the Morbius trailer. You know, it's kind of meh, looks kind of cool. I've always liked Morbius, you know, in like Spider-Man comics and even in the animated series growing up. I always thought his character was cool. Kind of seeing him as an attachment to, you know, the Spider-Man character. Him having his own movie, you know, it's kind of like, you know. But at the same time, little Easter eggs, like even in the Morbius trailer, you know, we see that the MCU version of Vulture, right? Michael Keaton, he's in that, right? So, but then you're like, we don't know if, you know, Morbius is a part of the MCU. He seems like he's really a part of the Sony verse. But then you have the MCU character of Vulture, same actor. It gets kind of wonky, right? And then also in the Morbius trailer, we also see that there is a picture of Spider-Man in the background, but it's like the Sam Raimi, you know, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. That's what it looks like. So a lot of little Easter eggs where you're like, huh, wait, where's this taking place? You know what I mean? Like a lot of things that are just a little bit questionable. Coincidence? I think not. I think not. And we're going to talk about it. Now, this is why I bring all of this up. Not to say I'm like overly excited and hyped for Morbius. I'm excited to see it. Obviously, it's going to be fun. But here is my thought and here's my pitch. And I've heard other creators talk about this. I've heard other fans talk about this. I have talked about it a long time ago. Maybe some of you guys may have slept on it. You know, it may have gone in one ear and out the other, but I'm going to say it again now. I'm calling it now because I know other people are saying the exact same thing. And we know that Marvel, Sony, they are listening. They're listening when the fans speak. They like to hear, you know, because, hey, we are the ones that pay and watch this stuff, man. We are the consumers. So you want to listen to your consumer voice, essentially, right? I think that we as an audience, us as fans, are mature enough to handle multiple Spider-Man movies all at the same time, but in different stories, right? So follow me here. If you guys have seen Spider-Man with No Way Home, obviously you know the biggest thing that we all enjoy. And spoilers, by the way, everyone here in TikTok, if you have not seen it, I'm telling you, we're talking spoilers about No Way Home. So if you want to avoid it, I would get out of the live. But if you don't mind hearing it, that's what we're going to talk about. So again, we know that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, it was amazing when they showed up in the movie. Absolutely, you know, monumental, man. Now, here's the thing. I feel like after watching it, and I need to watch it again, but I really feel like after watching it, it felt like, okay, it could go two ways. And I said this in my like spoiler, you know, review. It could really go two ways with Marvel and Sony, where they're like, hey, we're going to do this big grand event that, you know, is going to make us a lot of money. It's going to make the fans very happy. But, you know, that's it. Like, this is Spider-Man Endgame. We're going to leave it here. We brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. We did the unreal thing that nobody ever, you know, the speculation and hype behind this movie was so real. And it lived up to it, man. And that's amazing within itself. So they could just be like, that was this one and done big event. Or how can we do that again? How can we keep the ball rolling again and continue to make money? And how can we do that better on the next go round? You know what I mean? So I feel like it could really go two ways where they're like, hey, it's just a one and done thing, a really special love letter to Spider-Man fans, you know, here in No Way Home. And that's it, you know, or in my perception, I feel like us as a audience, I feel like we are mature enough that we're like, hey, we could, you know, the whole concept of the multiverse, you could tell other Spider-Man stories that exist in a different universe. And we could be like, okay, I get that. Because the multiverse, that's already been established. We understand that. And that's something that we can roll with, where we're like, so you mean to tell me we get multiple Spider-Man movies that exist across the multiverse? And that's more for us, more money for them? Dude, that's a sell easily. That is a sell easily. So I bring this up to you guys because I think, you know, number one, I love Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I think in No Way Home, this was his best performance yet. Absolutely. Hands down. I think, and I've said this before, you know, Tom Holland's version of Peter Parker's Spider-Man, he is that version where it's like, you know, if you've always wanted to see Spider-Man team up with the MCU characters, Marvel characters, the Avengers, like we never seen that before up until, you know, Civil War, right? And like, it's so awesome to see him implemented into that world. That's Tom Holland's Spider-Man, where we can see, you know, that integration. with other Marvel characters. Now, aside from that, if you want to see more of a darker or more adult, Spider-Man, where he's older, then that's where we can branch off into this multiversal thing. And that gets me into a couple of the graphic novels that I really love and storylines. So we all know that Kevin Feige, it sounds like they're trying to do something with Secret Wars. That's something that's going to be brought about. If you guys don't know what Secret Wars is, there was, I want to say, oh man, I want to say, was this like 20? I think this had to have been like 2016, 2017. I could be very wrong. But I have the issues. I have all the issues of the whole, collection of Secret Wars, the main event, which was, this was a few years ago that it came out. And it was wonderful. It was one of those things where essentially Doctor Doom, created this whole new world, this whole different universe. And it just got wonky. And in that, that's how Miles Morales from the Ultimate Universe. So like the Ultimate Universe got wiped out, but there were certain characters that were brought in to the main cinematic universe, like Earth 616. And so in that's how Miles Morales was brought over into the main universe. The whole storyline is crazy. So if you guys haven't seen it, go read that. Go check out like an audio comic of it. It's fantastic. But there's a certain branch off story, multiple branch off stories, but there's one particularly with Spider-Man that's called Renew Your Vows. Now, Renew Your Vows is one of those stories where, so we all know that No Way Home was heavily, lightly, however you want to call it, based off of One More Day. Now, this is one of the comics in Marvel for Spider-Man that across the board, a lot of people hated it. At the time, I was kind of mixed about it. I thought it was really interesting. I didn't completely hate it, but I didn't, completely agree with it either, where, it was one of those things they wanted to keep Spider-Man this timeless character. So they got rid of the marriage of MJ and Peter Parker. So, Aunt May, to save her life, Peter Parker made a deal with Mephisto and all Mephisto wanted was his marriage with Mary Jane. So getting rid of that, getting rid of those attachments of the character keeps him kind of this younger, bachelor, kind of a character where, if he doesn't have these attachments, then, he kind of stays kind of like in Foreverland. Well, Neverland-ish kind of a character, you know what I mean? For better lack of words. So, and a lot of fans at the time just absolutely hated it. And it's funny to see in No Way Home, they kind of took one of the worst stories that people hated and made it great. Like, how do you do that? It's great, man. But in that, I bring all of this up because essentially, and this is getting back to what I was talking about, the side story in Secret Wars, which was Renew Your Vows. Renew Your Vows was a story that was like, okay, so what would have happened if they would have stayed married? What would have happened if no One More Day hadn't happened? Or Brand New Day, right? Like, what if that never happened, that whole storyline? And, Peter Parker and Mary Jane stayed married. And it's amazing. The story is crazy. So they end up having a daughter. And, she has, powers, obviously inherited, to her from her father. And, but the future that they live in, so like Doctor Doom is kind of like taking over the world, essentially. And basically, all superheroes have gone into hunting. Like hiding. All superheroes at the time have gone into hiding, or a lot of them have been killed off. And there is who is the main villain? Is it like I forget? It's not Sentry. Not Sentry. That's a different Marvel character. I forget the main guy's name. Who's like stealing people's powers and their abilities. And all these other superheroes are kind of gone into hiding, and Spider-Man, he kind of created this device that keeps himself and his daughter's powers under control and contained. And it's just a crazy, phenomenal, futuristic story. So it's like, if you want to see a story about Spider-Man where he's married, he's got a daughter, but the future is kind of dark and gritty. Mind you, also in this story, he kills Venom. He like straight up kills Venom. And it's crazy because, Venom went after his family. He went after MJ and his daughter. He's waiting for Peter at his apartment. Like, the story is phenomenal. And it's like in that moment, there's some dialogue too where, Venom realizes, oh, this whole time, Spider-Man's been pulling his punches. And we kind of get that reference in No Way Home too, where Andrew Garfield, we learned that at a certain point, he stopped pulling his punches, which means he must have been killing people like villains after the death of Gwen Stacy, which was hard for him. So anyway, I bring this story up, secret, this, story, the side story in Secret Wars, which was Renew Your Vows for Spider-Man, because I don't think that was the last time we're going to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And I bring up stories like this, where you have like this crazy futuristic story. Hopefully you guys have been able to follow me. Like, you guys are like, I mean, I could just listen to you talk, but I have no idea what you're talking about. That's okay too. That's totally fine if you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I bring up these stories because it's like, man, if you again, Tobey Maguire, he had that Spider Dad energy in the movie. You know what I mean? And I absolutely loved it, man. It was my boy Xanatos said, it kind of felt like that wholesome feeling of, the whole reunion of Blue's Clues and the original guy coming back, and where you just felt like, man, it got you the feels, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how I felt with Tobey Maguire. And it was hinted at, obviously, that him and MJ, stayed together, and they worked it out. So we don't know. They could have kids. They could have a child. I don't know. But again, stories like that, particularly, in Secret Wars, where you have Renew Your Vows with Spider-Man, that's something that they could do with Tobey Maguire, where we have this older version of Spider-Man, and I would be totally interested in seeing that. Or they could also do a thing in, like, that's where they bring in Miles Morales, where you have this older Spider-Man, and you bring in, a Miles Morales into a story like that, where, I feel like in the MCU version, I feel like Spider-Man's not old enough to really be a mentor yet. He still needs a little more experience on his own before he can kind of be like this guide to someone else. You know what I mean? But there are other Spider-Men that exist cinematically where they could do that, including Andrew Garfield. So, yeah. Let me check on the chat before I keep going. I gotta go. Aiden, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate you being here. I really enjoyed the movie, although I had to watch it for although I had to watch it. Oh, you had to watch it from someone's TikTok live? What? Oh, that's horrible. Nothing like the theater experience, man. I'm telling you. Tom is my favorite Spider-Man. Yeah, Tom is great. Tom is great. Shark Boy, yo, SOS, man, I can't stay for this live until I see the movie. I don't want to hear the word Spider-Man, LOL, but I just popped by to say hi. I'll join next live. Oh, you bet. Yeah, again, and this is for anyone. There is spoilers heavily. If you have not seen the movie, go away. That's fine. We're just chatting here, and I'm kind of going up. This is kind of the aftermath thoughts of things that could come with, Spider-Man movies going ahead. So if you haven't seen the movie, be warned, spoilers. That's what we're talking about here in this live. But yeah, you're good. And Erica, what's up, girl? I'm surprised Dadalorian hasn't noticed me yet. Of course, I noticed you. I was just going off into a tangent. So let's talk about Andrew Garfield. And I don't think that's the last time we're going to see either one of them. Like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. I feel like, with them being in here, like, mind you, like, they could have signed on for a one movie thing, one and done, but knowing Marvel, they probably have something else up their sleeve. And Sony, you know what I mean? With all of this, it just makes me think, like, okay, if they're going to do a Sinister Six thing, why would they do a multiverse jump to fight Spider-Man? Like, what's going to be the causality of that again? You know what I mean? It only makes sense that if they're going to form some version of the Sinister Six, then a different version of Spider-Man should fight those characters. Because, I mean, we almost had a Sinister-ish kind of Six thing. Almost. You know what I mean? In No Way Home. It really wasn't Sinister Six, but, you had like 5 villains, that were already in this movie. And some, they kind of had a change of heart, obviously. But again, I feel like if they're going to build this, Sinister Six, it doesn't necessarily have to be this multiversal thing. It could just exist in one of these Spider-Man's, universes. And I feel like that's where you could really bring in either Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield. Now, Andrew Garfield, they had already had plans for the next Spider-Man 3. And there's something else that was mentioned in No Way Home. Again, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, we're talking about it. What are your thoughts on Ned with the ring things? Oh, yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to answer that. Thank you for asking. Now, Andrew Garfield, he, his version of Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he said that, he had never, when like all the Peters were talking to each other, they're like, I fought, this alien, he was purple, and then Tobey Maguire's like, yeah, I fought a alien that, was like black and gooey and came from space, and, da 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 da. And Andrew's like, I never fought any aliens. I just fought a metal Russian guy. So I'm paraphrasing, but you guys know what I mean. So this basically what I'm saying is Andrew never fought Venom. Like, at least he doesn't have any recollection that there is a symbiote that, could potentially exist in his universe. I know at the end of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, we seen that there was a symbiote located in Oscorp, right? So we know that it exists there, but maybe it just hasn't released yet, in his universe. So I'd be interested to see, like, what happens with that. Now, again, this is one of those things I was kind of bummed out on, and I mentioned this in my spoiler review, is that, okay, it seemed like they were teasing us because in Venom 2, in credits, right, we see, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, that had been revealed that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and Venom, he's watching that on TV because you have this whole wonky thing with the multiverse, and he was sucked into the MCU, right? So now he's there, and it looked like they were gonna do a thing where we're gonna see Venom versus Spider-Man, and I was like, okay, this version of Venom versus Tom Holland Spider-Man, I'm all about that. Like, their own movie, sign me up, take my money now. I thought that would have been really cool. The whole purpose of that cameo was for another cameo where just a little bit of that symbiote is left in the MCU, and it's like, really? That's it? You guys are, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like, whatever. But that's how the symbiote gets there, and I'm sure, now, Spider-Man, Tom Holland's version will end up getting the symbiote at some point. And then, again, Flash Thompson, that's a lot of the predictions, is that he will end up becoming Venom. Because again, this is something I said before in my spoiler review, is that I don't feel they need to bring in another Green Goblin. They don't need to bring in another Eddie Brock Venom. They don't need to bring in another Dr. Otto Octavius into the MCU, because how do you beat that? You know what I mean? How do you beat that? We don't need another recasting of these characters in this universe, because they were already brought in. They just don't exist within that universe. That's fine, but we already have the experience with those characters, and they went back to, their other universes. That's fine. That was a cool moment and experience that we had in No Way Home. Cool, but I don't feel like we need another, you know what I mean? So with that, it had me thinking. I was like, okay, what else haven't we seen? And that's Agent Venom. So for those of you guys who don't know, Agent Venom is a character in the comics where Flash Thompson ends up getting the symbiote, and he becomes Venom. What is this garbage? What is this? Block user. I'm blocking this. Where's my mods at? Where's my mods? Where y'all at? Block user. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Oh, snaps. I don't know what happened with my chat. There it is. Cool. I don't mind the spoilers. It will be a while before I see the movie. Oh, yeah. No worries. And again, guys, this is spoiler talk for No Way Home. So, and then, hold up. There was my buddy asked, what did I think about Ned's thing? I didn't really have a problem with it. I don't know that much about Ned. My only problem with Ned, and this wasn't even really in the movie, it just feels like they kind of took the Genki character, who is Miles Morales' best friend, and just put that in No Way Home. Well, they put that in the Home trilogy, right? Where I was just like, this just feels like Miles Morales' best friend. You know what I mean? If you guys know Genki, literally that's Ned. So, just the features, the characteristics, all of that. I was just like, it just seemed weird to me. I was like, why not make him look, or you know what I mean? I don't know. It just felt like Genki completely to me. But overall, I mean, the whole magic thing, hey, that was the least of my worries, because I was more concerned about other things in the movie. So cool, and there's some people who brought it to my attention that apparently in the comics, he so Ned actually is the third Hobgoblin. There are two different guys who become the Hobgoblin before him. So apparently he's the third Hobgoblin. Yeah, I think in the MCU, just let him be the only Hobgoblin. You know what I mean? And this is something else that I thought about too, was like, if he's gonna become the Hobgoblin, we know that there was a piece of the Venom symbiote that was left over, right? And that's very alien, so maybe that's the reason why it was able to stay in the MCU universe. But then my other question was, what happened to Green Goblin's glider? Did that stay in universe? Because Hobgoblin has a glider. Maybe he finds that by the trash can one day. He's like, "Whoa, this is cool. Now I want to be bad." I don't know. I don't know what will happen, but at this rate, he doesn't know who Peter Parker is anymore. So who knows? What could happen with their relationship? Going forward. Kratos Creeper, what's up, man? Watch Spider-Man No Way Home. Yes, yeah, I'm glad you did. It was damn good, wasn't it? This is Soul Infinity says, "Hi, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in." So again, I didn't have a problem with Ned's, magical capabilities or anything. It's whatever, man. My mind was so, fixated on other things within this movie that was the least of my worries. But it is what it is. It's kind of one of those things. So again, I bring it all back to this point of what I was talking about before, where I feel, and I ask you guys. Now I'm gonna put it up to you guys because I want to converse with you guys. I wanna get some Q&A going here. Are you guys willing? Would you guys be willing? Because I feel, I'm speaking for us all, but I want to hear from you. I feel that we as an audience are mature enough to handle multiple Spider-Man movies, and knowing that some exist in a different universe across the multiverse of things, right? Knowing that that's an established thing now, it's like, yo, they can bring back Andrew Garfield. And if you want to see a movie about Kraven's Last Hunt, use Andrew Garfield. Use Tobey Maguire, for Renew Your Vows, where we see Spider-Girl and he's married to MJ and he has a family. And it's like, if Tom Holland doesn't want to be playing Spider-Man at the age of 30, well, we already have Spider-Men who are older, and could portray that character in a different way. Why not just use them to tell some of these other stories where Spider-Man Peter Parker is older, and it's like, hey, let's explore what the future would look like for Spider-Man when he does have a family and he does have kids, and the stakes are a little bit higher for him where he does have these attachments. What does that look like in a film? Let's make a movie in the Sonyverse. You know what I mean? I would be up for that. Take my money now, please. Where's my wallet? Here, take my money now. Sony, Marvel, take my money. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about that? Like, would you guys be down to see multiple Spider-Man movies, but knowing that a few of them just exist in a different universe, like the Sonyverse of things across the multiverse, and then Tom Holland is your MCU Spider-Man. Like, that's kind of the main Spidey, right? But at the same time, it's like, hey, we could potentially still be getting other Spider-Man stories, and that idea and knowing that the multiverse is established in the MCU, it's crazy. So I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to leave it out on the table. He got punched and started laughing and smiling. Oh, man, let me tell you. Green Goblin stole the show. William Dafoe is Green Goblin. Like, here's the thing. I kind of, at first, I was like, oh, man, why'd he smash his helmet? I like the helmet. I was like, that would have been badass to see him, flying around with the glider and the purple stuff, purple hood over. I was like, man, I like, that design. But then, he didn't need it. He did not need the helmet at all. And, even my wife said this before. She was like, there are a few actors that can just holistically embody a character, whether it's a hero or a villain. Like Heath Ledger, for instance, he embodied the Joker so much that, it was like a creepy kind of sensation whenever he was on screen. He stole the screen whenever he was on screen. You know what I mean? And William Dafoe was that guy in this movie. Like, oh man, he was so intimidating. He was creepy. But, you also empathize with him at first because, he seems like this brilliant, scientist, sweet guy who's just kind of lost. Something's wrong with him. He doesn't understand what's going on. And you can see with Peter where he just wanted to help everyone. He wanted to help everyone out. But when that switch came, oh man, that fight was brutal. That was one of the best fights of the movie, man, hands down. Now, and another thing with that too, and this is why I think this isn't our last time seeing Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire, is because Peter initially, I think he kind of messed things up even more. If you think about it, like, yes, he helped those villains, like he cured them. But this is where we can kind of theorize. We don't know. Maybe it's like a hard reset where it's like, okay, he fixed them, and as soon as they go back to the universe, it doesn't matter what happens here to them. Like, if they drink a cup of hot chocolate or whatever, and then go back to the universe, it doesn't matter like what happens here. As long as they're sent back to the universe, everything is set back to its original time frame, right? Maybe that's the case, but here's an idea, here's a theory. I want to hear from you guys about this. Since Peter Parker, Tom Holland Spider-Man, found a cure, and he was working with all the other Spider-Man to do this, to cure them, so they all don't have their powers anymore, and they're just regular human beings, and they were sent back into their universe. Does that mean that there are consequences across the multiverse for that? So they're all sent back to the universes, but some of them were supposed to be dead, and now they're alive and they're cured. So what does that mean for the timeline? You know what I mean? In those other Spider-Man universes. And I think that that's a thing that they could play on if it's like, hey, we want to revisit these guys again. We want to bring back Andrew Garfield and Tom, Tobey Maguire, and kind of show you like, hey, this is what happened in No Way Home, but there are still consequences. Even for what seems like a good decision, there are still some consequences that could play out. And it's like, I mean, I would be happy to see more Green Goblin. I would be happy to see, more Dr. Octopus and Electro, but what happens since they're still alive? If that's the case. Again, it could go two ways where it was kind of just a hard reset. They're back in the universe. Cool. Everything's back to normal. You don't have to worry about it. But seeing that all the Spider-Men worked on these cures to help them, what does that mean when they're sent back to their universe? You know what I mean? When they were supposed to be dead. So you guys let me know what you think. And that's why I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm like, okay, they're not done with Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, because there's consequences for that. You can't, you know what I mean? It goes back to the law of Back to the Future, right? Like if you do something like here in the past, obviously that's going to affect your future. Or if somebody from the past time travels into the future and you take some knowledge, or you show yourself to this one person, it creates these different alternate changes later on in your future, right? Or even in your past. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I feel like there's definitely going to be some consequences if that's the case. I don't think that was just something that was just for the plot, those characters being there, they're back in the universes, everything's good. I'm like, no, you guys cured them. They were supposed to be dead, and now they're not, and they're sent back to their universe. There's going to be the TVA is like, yo, let me tell you, you know what I mean? The TVA is on them. Or they would be anyway. So that's my idea. And not only that, I feel like they could do a lot of cool stuff leading up to Secret Wars, because Marvel in general, the whole universe is at stake in the MCU. The thing that happened in Loki with, the multiverse, the thing with the Doctor Strange and Wanda, right? And Spider-Man, obviously. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on that the universe itself is in danger. So I feel like with that, because of that, there's going to be some consequences when you cure characters and people that were supposed to be dead, and then you send them back. Then what does that mean for your timeline? You know what I mean? That's one of the things that I keep thinking about. I would have loved to see Venom in it. Yeah, we did, but then it's like, you got a little bit of that symbiote. They gave us a little bit of that, where it's like, okay, so that's how Spider-Man's probably going to end up getting it. I feel like Flash Thompson, again, he's probably going to become Agent Venom, at this rate. That's what I believe. I will put user in timeout if needed. Yes, thank you, Erica. You're the best. I blocked somebody. They were like posting weird stuff like, click on this site and see my pictures. Like, get out of here. What are you doing? Spam? Get out of here. We're talking about Spider-Man, not spam. Not spam likely. We're talking about Spider-Man. But I appreciate my mods. Appreciate y'all looking out. Erica, you the best. Kratos Creeper says Venom would be cool, but in the movie, it would had to be a... Oh, you think he would? I mean, he's kind of like an anti-hero. This version of Venom anyway. Oh, you saw the emojis? Yeah, I was like, dude, what in the world? Like, get out of here. Stop. Erica, I appreciate you looking out. But yeah, I definitely 100% believe that Flash Thompson's going to be Agent Venom. And it makes sense because I even said this in my spoiler review again. Again, spoilers, for Spider-Man No Way Home TikTok. Even though I don't like this version of Flash that much, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe they just need to change his look or something. I don't know what it is. He's just too dweeby to me. I don't know. But anyway, I don't care to see another adaptation of Eddie Brock because I like the one that we have in the Venom movies. I think Tom Hardy's Venom is great. Am I a little bummed out that it's like, oh, we're never going to see Eddie Brock verse off against, Peter Parker Spider-Man? A little bit, but who knows, We've already seen that in another universe, in Tobey Maguire's world. Andrew Garfield, there's still potential there to where maybe he goes off against Tom Hardy's Venom. We just don't know. He's never fought Venom before. So we really don't know. They can literally do anything they want at this rate. They really can. And that's what's phenomenal and scary about it. Is like, we could potentially be getting a whole lot of Spider-Man movies across the multiverse, and that's amazing. Like, I'm all for that, man. But I 100% agree that he's probably going to become Agent Venom. It just makes sense. And yeah, man, this was an experience. It really was. This whole film was an experience. And that's why, in this stream today, by the way, I'm saying this again. I'm saying now. So I changed my name on TikTok temporarily. I'm still Dadalorian. Don't worry. I was messing around with something. I just wanted to see a name change. And then I changed it. But then it was like, you can't change it back until 30 days from now. And I was like, yo, what? So if you guys know how to change it back before then, let me know. But otherwise, after January 17th, then my name on TikTok will be back to Dadalorian. So yeah, if you see Spider-Mando, just know it's me on TikTok. Sorry. I'll change it. I'm changing it back in January. It's coming. Venom and Spider versus Carnage. Carnage is dead. He bit his head off and ate him in the movie. So, we won't see Spider-Man versus Carnage. But maybe in a different, universe. Could be, Tobey Maguire's or Andrew Garfield's. You just never know, man. So, other than that, man, thoughts on Daredevil in MCU. Well, I'm just glad that they've kind of just already made it official. Like, we already seen Kingpin, was in Hawkeye. So we were like, okay, Vincent D'Onofrio, Sam, Kingpin, great. We were like, we're going to see Daredevil, obviously, at some point. And it just makes sense because even in No Way Home, you see it's taking place similarly around the same time of Hawkeye, because at the end you kind of see, oh, it's Christmas time, New York. Makes sense, right? And I'm glad that his role wasn't that big. It didn't really need to be. You know what I mean? Like, that there was already so much going on, and they nailed it. So I'm glad that it was just one of those things of like them, throwing it out as like, yeah, this is your Daredevil, and I was happy about that. So and I'm excited I hope we get more seasons of Daredevil, or at this rate, maybe a movie, or maybe he's incorporated in, a movie of other characters where we actually see Daredevil in action. That'll be great. So I'm excited to see him amongst other things, which is really cool. If we got Daredevil, do you think we will get any other Netflix characters? Yes, absolutely. You can 100% bank on it. Like, since we already have Kingpin and Daredevil, you can bank on seeing like Luke Cage. Jessica Jones is already getting another series on Disney Plus. So if you guys didn't know that, that's coming to Disney Plus. So yeah, all the Netflix people, I can't even speak. Blah, blah, blah. All the Netflix properties of Marvel, trust and believe that that's canon. You're gonna see it all, man. Like, don't trip. I can't wait for that. And I absolutely loved Luke Cage, man. So please give me another season of that. That will be great. And they keep teasing at Black Spider-Man, talking about Miles Morales. He's already been hinted at in the universe, like in Homecoming. They kind of hinted at him, with the Prowler. He was like, my nephew lives around these parts, and we know that Miles Morales' uncle is the Prowler. So we know that he exists, but we just haven't seen him yet. And again, I just feel like, Spider-Man in the MCU just needs to be a little bit older. I feel like before you bring in Miles Morales, I just, I feel like he needs to be a little bit older, kind of this mid-touring kind of character. And even if it's not in the MCU, do it with other Spider-Men. We got Andrew Garfield, we got Tobey Maguire. They could potentially do something there. You know what I mean? I don't. We got all these Spider-Man. There's potential where they could potentially kill one off, and that's where you do like the ultimate Spider-Man storyline. Where Peter Parker dies, Spider-Man, and then Miles Morales has to take up the mantle because he was bitten by the spider, and like he's the new Spider-Man of whatever other universe. If they wanted to do that, like in the Sonyverse side of things, but if they want him in the MCU, I just feel like it should be later down the road. Like I feel like Tom Holland's Spider-Man he still has a lot of growing up to do, and he really had to grow up quickly, in No Way Home, which was just an experience, phenomenal, man. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. If we got Daredevil, oh yeah, I answered that. Pokemon Go. I haven't played that in years, man. I have not played that in years. I have friends that ship Miles and Gwen. Oh yeah, man, that would be great. But you know what else? I think would be cool is if we got another movie with Andrew Garfield that was a Spider-Man movie. I think they should do a multiversal. Oh, you know what? This is what I meant to talk about. So okay, hear me out here. So this is what I think would be really cool is if the next Andrew Garfield movie is like they bring back Emma Stone to play Gwen Stacy. But since they cured their villains, in No Way Home, there's these repercussions, right? Like there's consequences for that. So when they go back to the universes, there are certain things that aren't the same. There are certain people that are now alive that should be dead. And when he goes back, Gwen is alive, but she's also been bitten by a spider, and she becomes Spider Gwen. Or maybe she's already been Spider Gwen once he returns back, and he's like, "What the?" You know what I mean? And you kind of have this, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man movie between the two. I don't know how they would do it, but I just think that would be kind of interesting. Like, Andrew Garfield goes back to his universe and he's like, Gwen is back. And, I think Gwen was such a big part of his story. Maybe they could continue things on where like he does have an MJ and like that's his love interest. But I don't know. I think like in his universe, I think it would be really impactful to see Spider-Gwen and like a duo movie of those two together. I don't know. I think that would be really interesting. So you guys let me know what you think of that. I just got really excited. I was like, man, I meant to talk about that earlier. So yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the idea of it. I believe in it. I think it's going to be amazing. All puns intended. By the way, I'm working on my own homemade Spider-Man cosplay. It looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait to show it to you guys. I still have to fix up do the other side of like the puff paint and whatnot. But it looks really, really cool. I wanted 100% comic book accuracy. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you're following me on TikTok. And other than that, I think I'm going to go ahead and bring this live stream to an end. Because I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. Unless you guys got any other questions, any other concerns, let me know. As far as Star Wars stuff, man, again, we have the Book of Boba Fett that's coming out this month on the 29th. So I plan on doing like a watch party for that. I think that would be really fun. I think I attempted to do a watch party one time and it didn't. I don't think I did it. Like I think I did it, but it was just. What was it for? Did we do a watch party for? Yeah, actually, the last time I did one was for Mando, but it wasn't in a stream. I was just live on TikTok, which is still a stream, but it wasn't like YouTube where we're like all up watching it together. So I plan on doing my very first watch party with you guys. Actually, I take that back. Last watch party I did was for what was it? Was it it was the Disney Plus Day, which was kind of a fail, and chaotic on Twitter. So that was the last time I did that. So anyway, I plan on doing a watch party officially for the Book of Boba Fett. So be out on the lookout for that. It'll be fun to chat with you guys about that. And other Star Wars things. Again, I am partnering with Save Neo. Make sure you guys go get you a lightsaber from them. Use my coupon code Dadalorian at checkout. Make sure you look at where to put that in. My wife, she was looking at doing it just because my wife's always curious, and she said she had a challenging time trying to figure out where to place it. Just remember, my coupon code is Dadalorian, so don't forget that. And just make sure before you check out, make sure you look just thoroughly at where to input that, so it helps you guys out and it also helps me out, which is super cool. So Other than that, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I need to go spend some time with my family and chill. Nico, I see you in here, man. Hello there. Nico, I told you the name change is temporary on TikTok. I was playing around and then I realized, oh crap, I can't change my name back until 30 days from now, which sucks. Unless any of you guys know how to change it back sooner, send me a message. Let me know. Send me a message on TikTok and be like, bro, I got you. This is how you can change it back without having to wait 30 days. Let me know. That would be great. Can you wear the costume? Which one, Dadalorian or Spider-Man? My Spidey suit, I'm still, the homemade one, the homemade one. You see what I did there? It's almost done. It looks amazing. All puns intended. All puns intended. So yeah, man, I can't wait to Mandalorian. It's like a 2-minute process getting in that suit, man. So if you want to see me in the suit, check out my videos. Oh, see what I did there? But maybe one of these days, maybe for the Book of Boba Fett like stream, when we like do the watch party, I could be in suit for that. Why not? I don't see why not, man. You guys earned it, man. You guys helped me out so much. What if I bake a bunny into a burger? Would it be a bunny burger? What is wrong with you? What? These are the things you think about at night? Really? Yeah. So that's pretty much it, guys. Again, if you see Spider-Mando popping up on your For You page on TikTok, just know it is me. I temporarily changed my name, but don't worry. It will be going back to Dadalorian. That was just something funny to do for this month. So don't nobody go stealing my name. Okay, got it? Good. I saw Bo-Katan's post on Insta. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you so much for bringing that up. I appreciate you. So, again, I am also in a Star Wars fan film playing a couple characters. I think it'll be coming out early January. Yeah, I think they wanted to have it come out this month, but I think just with editing, took a little bit longer than what they were thinking, which is fine. But be out on the lookout for that. And I also have, some BTS stuff for you guys for that project that I put together. I think the director's supposed to be sending me more footage for that, so I have to edit that in, which is totally fine. But be out on the lookout for that. That's going to be really fun. And you guys get to see me in the film. So, yeah, that's other Star Wars things. Thanks for mentioning that, Erica. I appreciate it. Other than that, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get off. Much love to you all. Thanks for tuning in. Go watch Spider-Man again if you haven't seen it. And if you've been here the whole stream, you ventured at your own risk. We're talking spoilers, but thank you guys so much for hanging out. And then I have one more comment. Right as I'm always ending, someone's like, wait. I got something else. Spider-Man Homecoming, just another public trolling for the views for live for easy subscribers. Spider-Man Homecoming? What? We're talking about No Way Home, not Homecoming. Gotta watch your vids now. Yeah, man, you gotta go watch them. You gotta watch them. Anyway, much love, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end here on YouTube, and I will see you guys tomorrow for like another live stream. Hang out, chill thing. Yeah. Peace.